The art of feminine presence is this wonderful opportunity for me to come home to myself and to really be able to sit in the embodiment of what it means for me to be feminine.
To take pause is to find your peace. And when you're able to find your peace, you can stand in your truth and you can allow that clarity to really be focused. And you can be present so that when you are called upon to speak your truth, you know what it actually is.
To go into the womb space, for me, that's a whole different feel. And there is something so magical about connecting as a woman with my womb, my heart, and my third eye.
I've never tried to connect my heart to my womb space before, but I see that there's a nice clear flow of energy between the two centers, and I'm very connected to my womb space as a mother and as a woman.
I've come to deeply know and understand that the feminine energy is the most potent energy on earth. And it creates fear. There's a lot of desire to suppress that energy, but we don't have to play in that game.
I think for so many of us who are trauma survivors, where we had to, as a survival mechanism, learn to disconnect from ourselves, it really is truly a coming home to ourselves when I finally learned how to, connect with myself in these ways. Truly a remembrance, and so it's a gift.
Hello, beautiful souls. It is Sophia from Sacred You. Thank you so much for being here. But before we dive into today's Wisdom Circle, I have a small request from my heart. If our conversations ever resonate with you or support you on your journey, please subscribe to our channel or like this video. It helps us grow Sacred You, welcome more powerful voices into this space, and keep you connected to everything we share. Thank you so much for walking this path with us, and let us begin with today's conversation. Welcome to today's Wisdom Circle, the art of feminine presence. Such a wonderful topic, especially in today's world. It is so heartfelt for me and for so many women and also men, because we've all got the feminine and the masculine within us. Such a needed topic, and I'm really honoured that Sacred You is able to present it. So, of course, my name's Sophia. I have the honour of co-hosting Sacred You. But more importantly, today with us, we have the beautiful Leeann Kime, who's presenting the art of the feminine presence. So, Leeann, please say hello, introduce yourself, but tell us a little bit about what is feminine presence, and then we'll introduce these amazing women that have come from all over the world, and I will see you at the end. So thank you.
Thank you, Sophia. Now, the art of feminine presence, I'll speak from my presence in the art of feminine presence, and that it is this wonderful opportunity for me to come home to myself and to really be able to sit in the embodiment of what it means for me to be feminine. And from that, I've had most wonderful experiences of finding calm in the busyness of life, not having to hurry so much, not even wanting to push and force things. So that has been a huge gift from the art of feminine presence to myself. So I would love you to now introduce yourself and where you're from. Helen, you're on the top of my screen if you would like to. I'd love to welcome you today.
Thank you. Thank you, Leeann. I am from the Gold Coast in Australia. It's subtropical. We've had a lot of rain in the last few days. And so I'm very excited by this topic. It's something that I've explored deeply too, particularly in the area of sexuality, of intimacy and intimacy skills. So thank you for having me along.
Thank you and welcome. And Melissa, I welcome you into Circle.
Thank you, Leanne. My name is Melissa Range. I'm in the middle of the USA in Missouri, and I am a professional speaker, and I'm really excited to be here as well. And I love the art of feminine presence as well. I've been studying it for many years myself and helping other women. So glad to be here.
Thank you and welcome. And Dr. Enolia, would you like I welcome you to Circle?
Thank you so much, Leanne. I appreciate it. I am from New York City, but I am residing in Angola, Africa. And I'm really excited about this topic because having gone through the corporate life most of my career and expecting to have this presence, you're expected with that male physical presence all the time. So this is near and dear to my heart, to be that feminine self in an environment that's male oriented. So I'm going to really enjoy speaking about this.
Thank you and welcome. Lisa, I welcome you to Circle this today.
Thanks, Leanne. I'm Lisa Doucette, and I'm from Nova Scotia, Canada. So a bit snowy here. I am absolutely thrilled to be part of this amazing panel with all these other women and to be talking about the art of the feminine. It took me several years to come back to who my feminine self is and really embrace that. And a lot of my work now is centered around helping women who are leaving or recovering from abusive situations. So it's great to be here. Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you. And Abby.
Thank you. I'm really excited to be here. My name is Abby Teixeira, and I'm calling in from Treaty 6 territory, also known as Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, and it's also very snowy here, currently snowing. I am a speaker, published writer, author. I'm a trauma recovery coach. I'm a feminine business mentor, and I'm also a survivor of complex trauma. I've also been in recovery from addiction for the past 11 years. I'm a mama of 4, which is probably my greatest, I guess, hat that I wear. And I help guide cycle-breaking women and femmes, specifically Black, Indigenous women of colors, leaders, mothers, creatives, healers, really coming out of isolation and survival and into embodied, ancestral, community-rooted leadership. And I do this by holding spaces where their grief, their rage, their truth, their wisdom can really be witnessed and integrated and really be transformed into sovereignty. And so I deeply believe that our lived experience holds the medicine that the world needs. And that's why these kind of conversations are very near and dear to my heart, and really excited to speak about feminine presence, especially as a mother of 4 little, 7 and under. Yeah, it'll be a juicy one. Thanks.
Thank you, Abby, and welcome. So I'm now just with everything we've heard about your beautiful gifts in this world, your beautiful, just your essence of who you are. You got to witness that presence just then. I want you just to drop inward. Just drop in. Whatever that means for you. Just take a breath and really feel what you feel right now. And it's in the art of feminine presence. There is a practice of witnessing. We were witnessing each other. And as we witness and notice that we witness, what do you notice in your body? Where in your body do you reside? Where do you fall into your body? It's just an invitation, knowing that there's no right or wrong. It's just an invitation to notice. And then take a lovely breath. And then just open your eyes. And you may notice that you feel like quite different. You might notice that you are able to drop more into the body and not be in the head as much, in that beautiful practice of witnessing other women and witnessing the words and the beautiful story. And then I want you to just notice around you Do the colors seem different? Do you notice things more? A photograph or something around you is more prominent than it was maybe as you were sitting waiting for us to come together. Maybe the sound is different. Maybe your awareness of where you are in the room and even your awareness of, Abby, you were saying your children. Mama always knows what the children are doing and where they are. And in the feminine, this expands. So do you notice that in your environment? And I would love you to share if you have a different experience now. And we'll do this just before we drop into the practice of deeply connecting into the feminine within the body. I would love to invite you to share if something jumped out for you from that very simple. I'm just going to take notice. I'm going to be the witness of what's happening. Did anyone notice anything like profoundly or different?
I'll jump in and say that I felt a calmness in my heart center. So I can almost feel the support of all the ladies in the group. And coming into this circle, I wasn't sure what to expect. I was feeling a little bit nervous, but being in the space and dropping into my body, definitely I felt an expansion of my heart space. And thank you.
Beautiful, very beautiful. Helen, did you want to share something?
Yes, and I went to my throat first, and then as I felt in my throat, I felt into my yoni at the same time, and the experience is a softening. Yeah, everything feels softer.
It's almost like the softening within, so that the softening when you look outward happens.
What popped in for me was when I was mentoring a lot of people years ago, one of the things that I would always begin with when we began working together was having them drop in and to, I think so much of our life is so busy and it's just, let's hop right in, let's just go for it. And instead, if we take a moment and in connection, we're with other people in this moment, just to sit with ourselves, just for like we did, for just a minute or two, what it does for me, it just brings clarity and it makes me feel connected to everyone else in that moment. And I think that is definitely something that the feminine is a part of to get that connection going. So that's what came in for me.
Very beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah. I always marvel at the power of breath. And it's something that I always speak to, like even with my clients as well. We also begin our sessions always with a grounding, centering meditation that I lead them on so that we can, number one, be connected with self, with the field, and like with each other, and then whatever is else out there that you consider kind of your higher power kind of thing. And so that we can actually really be present throughout our session and open. And so, yeah, when you were guiding us through that, I just took those couple of breaths, and then it was just like a soft, like what Helen said, a soft landing. And it was just like, oh, just the power of breath is just subtle but profound. And it's just a great reminder that we have this little superpower at any moment to reset our day, to drop in, to be in presence, and even just calm, and then just openness to be able to receive what we are going to be discussing with each other.
Thank you. And Dr. Enolia, would you like to share? Did anything jump out for you?
For me, I would say that it was a peace, because to take pause is to find your peace. And when you're able to find your peace, you can stand in your truth and you can allow that clarity to really be focused. And you can be present so that when you are called upon to speak your truth, you know what it actually is. So for me, what jumped out was just to be able to be at peace, to be present, and to be ready.
Beautiful. We're now just going to go into just a little guided drop in, even deeper, perhaps for you, into the practice that is the signature practice in the art of feminine presence that was designed by Rachel Jane Groover. After we've done that little practice, I'm just going to invite you again to just notice, did I drop in deeper? Did something change for me? Did something come up for me? Because sometimes little things come up that are aha moments or they're little surprises. We're going to just sit very comfortable in the chair and just notice your feminine power has been activated now with that deepening, the gift that we had of witnessing each other. So we're just going to now drop a little further back into the chair and just notice the posture of your body. And I want you to notice, are my shoulders like high? Are they low? Can I drop my shoulders? Does my body just want to have a little wriggle somewhere? And maybe it's the upper body. And the upper body and head is generally where the masculine is felt more. So just notice, am I still a little higher in my body? Am I starting to drop down now into my heart? Am I dropping deeper now into the space that we call home in the art of feminine presence, which is in womb space? We're dropping down into womb space, just a little below the navel, but back in further towards the spine. I just want you to imagine that there's this small, like this beautiful little golden slippery slide, and you're going to drop down in the slippery slide back into this place of feminine in womb space, back toward the spine and a little bit down. And then we have beautiful roots that come like our trees. Our legs are like tree trunks, and the roots go down into Mother Earth from the soles of our feet, and they wrap around the beautiful Mother Earth, around all of that comfort and love and support into Mother Earth. And you draw that back up through the soles of the feet, up through your legs and into your womb space and into that space. And I invite you to notice, is there a light there? Do you notice a light? And it doesn't matter if you do or not. It's just, is there a light? Is the light bright? Is it just glowing beautifully, nourishingly, and supporting? And is there a part of my body that I can soften around this connection into womb space? Can I soften my shoulders, my neck, my back? Can I just have the release on the out breath and know that I'm connected to the beautiful feminine center we call home in the art of feminine presence? Just with each breath now, notice, are you able to fan the light? Does it get a little brighter on the in-breath and just settle back on the out-breath? And the practice that I'm going to share with you today is the connection between the womb space and the heart. So with that awareness on womb space, I want you to imagine, sense, or feel there's a channel that travels to the heart, and then it travels back down. So on the in-breath, it may travel through this channel to the heart, and then back on the out-breath to womb space, and continuing on the in-breath and the out-breath, just connecting womb space and heart. And notice if that channel is beautiful and open and flowing and free. And it's okay if it's not. There's no right or wrong. It's just an observation. And because we are practicing in this awareness, this helps build this connection. And then we're going to go a little further. The next time you take an in-breath into the heart, we're going to go to the third eye. And then from the third eye, we're going to travel all the way back down to womb space. So we travel to heart, to third eye, and all the way back in that channel to womb space. So just for a moment, travel in that channel, noticing what you notice, the ease of that pathway, the difficulty of that pathway, and just being in the presence of womb space, of home, heart, third eye, and your body. And now on the next out breath, just take a moment to settle into womb space and feel that beautiful warmth or glow, or whatever it is that you are aware of in home, in the space of home, in the space of womb space. And when you feel ready, open your eyes gently. And as you do this, I want you to look into the screen, into yourself, into your eyes, and notice what you notice. And then I could also get you to look at the other beautiful women in the screen with you. And what do you notice? So in the presence of your feminine and that witnessing of each other, something beautiful happens. And it, looking at like yourself, and as I look and witness you, there's this beautiful, soft, powerful strength that's so much come to the fore. And I would then love you to share anything, like how was that for you? What do you notice? What do you notice about someone else? What do you notice about yourself? And when I first did this practice, I'll share with you what happened to me. And that was, I didn't have a very good connection between my heart, my third eye, and womb space. I was really good at being in my heart, but building that connection with each of those centers was this beautiful like growth and awareness for me. Yeah. Would you like to go first, Melissa? Would you love to share something?
I think being in the presence of all you lovely ladies, it just, first of all, puts me into, I could drop into space very quickly. I'm able to just let go and release and just be in the space in the moment. That was something I couldn't do years ago. I wasn't able to do that. My mind would be a whirl. And it took a lot of practice. And that was really just centering or getting my chakras in order. But then to go into the womb space, for me, that's a whole different feel. And there is something so magical for me personally about connecting as a woman with my womb, my heart, and my third eye. And actually, usually what I imagine is an infinity symbol connecting my heart and my womb space. So today, when you said then connect your third eye, I was thinking, oh, should I use the infinity? Or what came to me was connecting with a gold thread. So a gold thread coming through, starting in my womb space, going through my heart, and then coming back around to just keep that all in a flow. So that was something that was different for me today. And I really loved it because that was something I haven't done in a while. It's usually, like I said, just connecting my womb space to my heart. So thank you for sharing that. It was very easy for me to just let go and be in that moment. So truly in the present moment, in the presence of you all.
Thank you. Lisa, would you like to share?
Yes, I would love to share. I remember the first time, and I went through the same kind of spark or feeling of a burst of energy. The very first time I was able to make that connection between my third eye and my heart space, and what an amazing connection that was. And tonight, connecting the three, it was new for me, like it was for Melissa. I've never tried to connect my heart to my womb space before, but I see that there's a nice clear flow of energy between the two centers, and I'm very connected to my womb space as a mother and as a woman. And then connecting the three, all that kept going through my mind was Trinity, Trinity. So there's something, and there's always been something in my life around three. So I need to sit with it a little bit longer, but it was definitely strong. So.
Thank you. Thank you. Abby, would you like to share?
Yeah, the overarching feeling that I came out of that with was this really deep inner peace as you were guiding us through the womb space to then the heart to then the third eye. I really love how Melissa talked about it being like a figure eight. Yeah, I had a similar kind of experience where it was just this weaving of these powerful centers in our bodies. And for me, it just felt aligned and like this deep, beautiful sense of peace that I really enjoyed. It felt very juicy. There was a time when it was very difficult for me to connect with myself. And so when I have these kind of moments, it's really I've come a long way. Let's just put it that way. And I think for so many of us who are trauma survivors, where we had to, as a survival mechanism, learn to disconnect from ourselves, it really is truly a coming home to ourselves when I finally learned how to connect with myself in these ways. It was truly a remembrance, and so it's a gift. So thank you.
Thank you. And it is a beautiful gift, isn't it? It truly is. And as you were talking, it kept popping into my awareness that this is also the gift that we can give to others without having to do anything. It's our presence. It's like the gift that we know and that then travels out. Yeah, it truly is a gift. Even to grandchildren, and even like when that healing happens and that embodiment of this, it just goes out to everywhere, in everyone. And Dr. Enolia, would you love to share with us?
Yes, connecting the three really made me sit and bring forward like the teachings and the clarity that I have around the womb, which is from the Amazonian women. I've always learned that the womb is not a place for fear or pain. The womb is a place to create and give birth, and not just to life. See, we as women have a superpower, and our superpower is to gestate. And we are able to gestate not only just children where it all comes together and then we give birth to something. But we gestate ideas, we gestate love, and we give birth to so many different things. And that in and of itself is our superpower, because men can only mimic it. So as you brought forth the clarity of the third eye from the heart to the womb, to me, it was like the clarity of Creator just basically saying, you are the light, you have the power. And that I am presence just sits so powerfully there. And that each one of us, in the presence of one another, makes it that much more potent, amplifying that light, no matter where we sit. So that's what I got out of it.
Thank you. Thank you. And Helen, I invite you to share.
Thank you. Thank you, Enolia. That was amazing. So for me, the focus, I thought it was beautiful the way we grounded down into the earth's energy early on in that practice. And that's the source of yin energy. So taking the roots down into the ground. Really, when I came back up into the womb space, I had a very deep experience of the womb space. And you said to explore the color. The color for me in my womb space in recent years has been blue. I've had a hysterectomy and I'm long into menopause. I think I'm the oldest person here by quite a lot. And yeah, I explored the blue because there was a distress when it changed from the red to the blue for a while. And now that practice just brought bringing that earth energy up and into that space. It brought a deep acceptance. It's like a deep indigo blue, and that's such an important color for me in my life. Now, I think that there's a wisdom part to that color. And then just bringing up through the dantians, like Melissa, I felt the gold thread coming up to the mid-eye and down and around. Yeah, it was a beautiful healing practice. So thank you, Leeann, for taking us through that.
You're so welcome. Thank you for sharing, and thank you everyone for sharing all of that beauty and that wisdom and that joy. I'm feeling guided to ask, are there any questions? Is there a burning question that you might like to put forward? It might be to me, it might be to just everyone to discuss. Or, yeah, does anyone have a question about the art of feminine presence as a practice, or as a practice? And you may not have a question because you're in feminine. You may just have that beautiful, I just know it doesn't even matter. What is she asking that question for? Yeah.
I don't have a question, but I'll share that I think the last time when I was on this panel and talking in this circle, for me, and in case anyone's listening, we talked about how I personally went through a very masculine time in my life. And it was very hard for me to step into embracing my feminine energy because I had been living in the masculine for so long. And of course, I think Dr. Enola talked about the corporate America. Okay, so I was in corporate America for many years, and I didn't know how to embody the art of the feminine. I didn't know what that looked like because I was so in the right, in the masculine. And what ended up happening was when I got a divorce, I completely swung the pendulum into the feminine because I was craving so deeply how to embody that feminine part of me that I really, first of all, didn't even know how to tap into. And secondly, in a patriarchal society where I am in the US very much, we're trained to live in that masculine go do have. And so I completely cocooned myself to learn about the feminine and about who I am and how do I embody her and that part of me that needed to be embodied. And so now it's interesting. I can be in this center balance, yin and yang harmony place. And I know how to go into my masculine if I need to. And I know how to then be in my feminine when I need to. And so the pendulum knows how to swing nicely. And so for anybody that's listening that maybe feels like I'm always in that masculine, and sometimes I can go into my feminine completely and not remember how to utilize my masculine energy, but it comes back a lot faster. Maybe somebody else wants to share their experience. I saw some heading nods. Oh my gosh, you all know what I'm saying. Some whatever, heads nodding about this concept because I think it's easy for us to forget our femininity. And what I also wanted to share was when I'm in a space like this, there is so much intuitive connection. There's so much that we can relate to one another very quickly when we step into these spaces. I can. So I would love to know what you all think about the balance of the yin and the yang.
Can I
So
jump in?
I'll jump in because
Yes,
Melissa.
Oh,
yeah.
go ahead, Enola.
So I'll jump in because what you said is so true. And coming up in corporate America, every morning we get up, we put on the man suit, we dress like the man, we meet the man, and we go head to head with the man. And what it was feeling like is that the femininity not only didn't have a place, but in wanting to embody it, didn't even feel strong enough to be able to meet what we had to do on a daily practice in terms of being in that environment. So to put on that femininity, to embody it, to not want to wear a business suit. You couldn't get me in a business suit again if you paid me, but to be able to want to wear a dress, to be able to not have to raise my voice and come at it aggressively to make my point, to not have to butt into a conversation, but literally just sit back, wait, and it's, are you done yet? Because then I'll speak. And not feeling like I have to get the word in. All those qualities, all of those practices, all of those things had to be relearned because the last thing you want to do is to be denied the right to be seen, to be heard, to be able to express your point of view. And you feel like at times that you missed all of those qualities and to embrace the art of femininity. Oh, I love this topic. Was to be able to assert that aspect of myself, the one that doesn't have to fight for it, but stand in my truth, the one that it can birth my from my womb, right? The ideas and the expressions or the thoughts that I had and not feel like they had to be pushed in or inserted in, and that I could just stand in my truth and be my truth and not to have to be hard and harsh, and to learn that, to embrace that, and to allow that to bring me back into balance. And yes, there are times that I need to use the masculinity, but I can sit in my femininity and just relax and know that I am enough. I am enough. Yeah. So I
Oh,
concur, Melissa.
oh, thank you. Thank you. Lisa, you wanted to say something as well?
Yeah, now that's a hard act to follow. Though I was going to take a lot of the sentiment that Enola shared, but she did it so much more eloquently. What I was going to say is, and echo off what Melissa said and what Enola said, is back when I started to crave this femininity and to be and to embody that feminine piece, I didn't realize that I was living so much in the masculine. Like it took me even a long time just to recognize the energies, ra just recognizing them rather than trying to balance them. So for anybody that's listening, that's just starting off and trying to figure out this balance, it is a tough balance to figure out. And sometimes, like I still am. very much a feminist. Like I really believe in fighting for women's rights and the whole bit. But Enola, I don't need to be aggressive about it anymore, and I don't need to like try to fight my way into a corporate setting. I finally realized in my 50s now that I am enough, and this feminine energy is meant to be embraced, and it is helping us to create and to birth new life into the world, and that it shouldn't be forced. It's like the to be part of the, and the masculine is the to do part, and we have to do both. But I find that in our modern society that we don't sit in that to be energy enough and let things evolve. And I think that's really important, a really important way to embrace the feminine. And it took me such a long time to get there and to realize that distinction, that and it's that level of clarity that comes when you're finally able to tease the two energies apart and really start to balance them. It's life changing. So
Thank you. Thank you. And Abby and Helen, did you want to add anything there?
Yeah, I really appreciated that share because I also had to really learn and define and experience what true feminine energy felt like for myself and really differentiate it from the masculine energy. And for me, I had to learn lots of really tough lessons on burnout from operating in the masculine too much and just doing without breaks, that whole hustle and grind culture, all of that kind of stuff. And everything has to be structured and like all of that, right? And so for me, it really came to a head when I experienced burnout once again. And the last time I ended up in the hospital because of it. And it was a really big wake up call for me. And what I really discovered was that I was very much operating in that masculine energy and overriding my body's innate wisdom when it was begging and asking for rest. And as we know, as females, as women, we cycle every month. We go through cycles every month where there's certain periods of time where we are meant to rest and replenish and restore. There's certain periods of time when we are meant to create and be out there and all energetic. That's the period of time I'm in right now, which I'm really loving. And then as the year goes as well, when I started to really align myself with the moon cycles, for example, when the earth cycles, that's when I really started to experience femininity and feminine flow, and how when I leaned into cyclical living and that feminine flow, I was able to do even more than I was before in the past, but in a different way, right? One that was more of a flow, more of a cycle, rather than this like intense push energy all the time. So I had to really experience kind of the extremes of both for me to really understand what that actually meant for me. And I have a daughter, she's my oldest, and then I have three boys. And so it's really exciting for me that I get to actually pass some of this wisdom down to her, even though she's only 7 years old right now. But we have these really beautiful discussions about, because she has lots of questions about her brothers, for example, like why do they have this and why do they do that? And when then I try to explain to her the masculine and the feminine, and then she has her incredible father, my husband, he is the divine masculine to my divine feminine, and how he nurtures and supports me and creates a safe space for me to be able to do what I do, take risks and build a business and go after my dreams and all of that, because he's this masculine support behind me that's really supporting my feminine energy and creating that safe space for me to do it all, I guess, in flow. Yeah, and in right relationship with the earth and cycles. So yeah, that's what sprouted for me.
Thank you, Bea. Thank you for sharing. And Helen, did you have something?
Yes, some beautiful shares there. In my exploration, I've come to deeply know and understand that the feminine energy is the most potent energy on earth. And it creates fear. There's a lot of desire to suppress that energy, but we don't have to play in that game. And we are the keepers of the creative energy. We can create another human being in our body. And when we're not needing that energy for that purpose, then we have this huge creative potential. Yeah. And then there's another thing that came up for me as people were talking was there's an alignment that a lot of women have that aggression is a male or a masculine energy. But you try taking the cubs away from a tigress. There's the fierce feminine, and the fierce feminine is important to know and to acknowledge because the fierce feminine doesn't put up with anything and she protects. She is a protectress, and you just got to watch out when that protector comes alive. So I always teach my clients about the fierce feminine because they're often trying so hard to be so super nice and never bring forward that aggressive energy and wonder why they get overridden all the time. So acknowledge that there's a fierce side to the feminine. It's a different feel to the masculine. It's not that dominating sort of energy, but it's a protective energy. You get out of my space because this is my territory. These are my cubs and you're not having them. Yeah. So that were my thoughts.
Thank you. Thank you, Helen. And yes, Dr. Enolia,
I just want to share one other little thing because Lisa really brought it up and she brushed over it, but I think it's worth mentioning, and it is the systems, because we kind of brush over the systems. And a lot of times what happens is that we enter systems that are alpha male and that pushes us over. And when she talked about, Lisa, when you talked about the recognition that you are in a system that is pushing you to that side, I think that is so important. What's an example? A quick example would be like being a chef. And the head chef is the alpha male. And they just treat everyone else badly unless you get to be the alpha male yourself. And then what happens? What does the alpha male do? Repeat. And we as females just want to fit in because we want to cook, right? And the chef has made it an alpha male syndrome. And that system hasn't been broken down. So I think to recognize that you're in a system, to shift that system if it's possible, and to understand that if you can't shift it and you can't participate it, then build your own. So I'll just leave it at that.
Very good. We're just having to wrap up very soon. And with that, what you spoke about, Dr. Enolia, is what I also understand from the training of Art of Feminine Presence is that by dropping into the feminine, by dropping in and being that embodiment of feminine, like really truly embodying the feminine, that energy entrains the masculine. It entrains everything around it to come into, what shall I use? The word I could use, harmony. So the more that I have noticed for myself, by being in the true embodiment of the feminine, it then allows that ability to speak my truth, to speak it lovingly, to speak it with authority. What you've just spoken about, Helen, the fierce mama, the system, it's a power that is such a force that it entrains other energy to drop down. Yeah. And if you've not experienced that, that could be like an ending thought or a theme for today, is that what happens when I'm truly in the embodiment of my feminine and I get to sit back and watch, and do I notice what happens around me? With that energy, you don't have to do anything. You are being it. You are it. And everything that we've spoken about is it. And it's like, how much embodiment am I holding and how much am I not holding? Where am I in that embodiment? Is that a nice thought for you to take away from today? And notice what happens in the full embodiment. It's very magical, very magical. Because you all know the magic that you have. You all know the beautiful feminine. And I thank you all ever so much for your beautiful presence, being able to witness you in everything that you've spoken about in this very special, like it fills my heart to be able to be here with you. And I honor and cherish and witness all of your beauty, all of your beauty. Thank you so much for being here. And just to end, we'll all just drop back in to womb space, into that belly bowl. Just dropping back, because nothing else matters. Nothing else matters but to be you. Thank you so much. Sophia's back.
And thank you, Leeann, for another wonderful wisdom circle. And I've been sitting here, I've had the honor of sitting here, listening and experiencing your guidance in dropping into that womb space, to reconnecting with our feminine, because so much, like a lot of people in our world, I'm so much in the masculine. So I am honored and grateful that I have this time where the universe is going, now sit and just experience. Thank you. Want to honor you. Want to honor Helen and Lisa and Melissa and Dr. Enolia and the beautiful Abby for joining us again for the Art of Feminine Presence. And for everyone who is watching, whether it's the live or the replay, click on the links and reach out to these amazing women. Come and join us again next month, same time next month, as Leeann brings her Art of Feminine Presence back again to not just the Sacred You community, but to the women of the world. So thank you. And while you're there, check out everything about Sacred You. Come and join us. Come and hang out in the village for free. It's just sacredyou.love. And if you put /join free, then you can join us for free. Have a beautiful day wherever you are, and we will see you next time. So thank you ever so much.